Well, getting updates from the General Assembly, always a fascinating experience, to put it mildly. And then there was this Representative Brandy Bradley, who has been fighting tooth and nail to get tougher sentences for child sex traffickers and child rapists. This sounds like an open and shut case. This sounds like it should be 100-0. It is not, because the Democrats, for various reasons, have decided that they want to protect these offenders and give them a second chance, because we don't know the extenuating circumstances that may have forced somebody into the trade of child sex trafficking. Or further to that point, as we talked with District Attorney in the 23rd, George Brockler, our good friend, a first-time offender of a child rape, are they subject to mandatory prison sentences? Well, the Democrats would say no. And there was testimony going on the Hill that our next guest, Representative Brandy Bradley, just couldn't bring herself to listen to and endure. So she joins us now to talk more about it on Ryan Schuiling Live. Representative Bradley, thank you as always for your time.
Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for having me on.
All right, take us through exactly what was going on there. You know that you were fighting this in the House. This was going on in the Senate. Testimony before a committee. Can you take us from there?
Well, you go in, and Senator Rich, God bless her, took this bill and said, I will start this in the Senate. This is important for the kids of Colorado. And Senator Snyder said all through the summer, I'm going to hop on. This is devastating what's happening to the children of Colorado. And then he flailed on her. And Democrat after Democrat decided not to join her in the Senate. Luckily, I had State Representative Regina English, who is a Colorado Democrat. She's joined me in this fight for the last 3 years. And when I went in to listen to the testimony, it's defense attorney saying that slapping someone on the butt, or a man that came in to say massaging his 3 children would constitute as rape. This is the sadness that the children and the sexual assault victims in Colorado had to listen to.
This sounds a lot like gaslighting, and we're talking about, like you mentioned, attorneys. I think public defenders is what George Brockler was alerting me to. What was going on there. And the blurring of the lines, it's intentional, Brandy, that they're going to, what if it's this? And, they create this intentional gray area so that we question ourselves and, well, maybe we wouldn't prosecute that, or maybe we wouldn't prosecute this. I mean, what is the argument? Point blank, full stop, end of sentence. Somebody that rapes a child should go to prison, right? What is the public defender argument against that?
They say, honestly, that probation for these offenders is worse than putting them in jail. I kid you not.
That's insane.
Well, and Ryan, your viewers need to know that this isn't just rape of one child. Yeah. You can rape multiple children one time and get probation.
Representative Brandy Bradley joining us here, and again, fighting against this issue. Now, as it continues to be heard before this testimony before the Senate committee, where does it go from here? Is this bill already struck down? Because I'm seeing this post from Libs of TikTok, Chaya Rychek, and she has got her focus on Colorado a lot more than we would care to have it. And I just recognize one of these names, Brandy, and that's Senator Nick Heinrichsen, Democrat Pueblo, not only looking to block this potential, prosecution, mandatory sentencing, but he's also the author of the decriminalization of prostitution that was pulled, and that Kyle Clark assured us that, well, no, Democrats were policing their own. They shot down that bill. It was never going to come to fruition. Conservatives like Brandy Bradley and conservative talk radio host me, we were just kind of clutching our pearls and overreacting, and it never had a chance really to. Well, then why even bring it to the floor? So who is this guy, Nick Heinrichsen?
Oh, yeah. Who is this guy? Wants to legalize prostitution, wants polyamory, believes you should love who you want to love. What is he going to bring minor attracted persons next?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the plus mark on the LGBTQ. We hear about these people talking about Polis, love who you want to love. In this state, it's a free state for all. Well, does that mean 5-year-olds? What's next? Why are you not putting child rapists in jail? Do you believe that they should not be in jail? Do you believe they're loving who they want to love? You have to ask. I think their computers should be all scrubbed, to be completely honest.
I mean, why not at this point? It begs the question, because this is, to me, it's just a red flag that somebody would try to run that up the flagpole and just see how it goes. We're going to float this trial balloon. Should we decriminalize so-called sex work and sex workers and Johns that would hire them, and open the door to exactly what Erin Lee, we'll get to her in just a moment, what she has been fighting against with these ballot proposals. And I just want to get your reaction to that, because there is good news to come out of this week. Very good news, Representative Bradley, and that is all 3 ballot proposal measures will be on the November ballot that she pushed for through Protect Kids Colorado. Your thoughts on that and what it might do in terms of driving voters to the polls?
I mean, I can't say more. Erin Lee is a personal friend. Kyle Clark underestimated us on that, too. And so he gets to bubble that bubble in as well and watch 90% of Coloradans vote in favor of those ballot measures. He tries to assault us as being Christian conservatives when Jen Say is a feminist atheist who led the charge on this.
Yeah.
He has no water under his little bridge, and we're going to make sure that we hopefully drive him out of town. You know, he didn't talk about my rape bill. He gaslit me when I asked him how he would feel if his daughter got raped, and he basically said that I wanted his daughter to be raped. We're sick of the Kyle Clark show here, and now 3 ballot initiatives are going to make it. Those were 3 bills that I ran, 2024, 2025, 2023, and I'm proud to say that they passed through the title board, and they're now going to be on the ballot. And I am so thankful for Erin Lee and Protect Kids for actually doing the job that legislators were voted in. Well, actually, most Democrats were just vacated seats. They just got their seats by 30 people electing them in. But proud of Erin Lee to get this on the ballot. And now the voters are going to tell the Colorado General Assembly that we can do better than you can to protect kids.
And the voters will have a direct say in that, as you mentioned, and I anticipate, as you do, that this will be overwhelmingly supported by the voting public, and that people that are common sense, like you said, it wasn't just Jennifer Say either. I've been to several of these events that Protect Kids Colorado has put on, and Brandy, these are disaffected Democrats who voted blue their entire lives, and it's on this issue for which they turned because it's just it's a ridiculous premise. And the one thing I would say once again to Mr. Liberal TV News at 9 News is like he's doing this whole step of a process. And I talked about this with Heidi Ganahl yesterday of it's not happening. And Brandy, you and I are lunatic fringe evangelical Christians that are just way, way overreacting to it. And then 2, but if it did happen, well, then these are marginalized kids and they need a room and space to be accepted. And then 3, that, oh, not only should they be accepted, it's happening, it's real, it's a good thing. And then 4, if you are opposed to it, well, then you're the bigot, you're the homophobe, you're the transphobe. And again, that it's not happening, or if that's not happening that much, or that's only a couple of spots on a girls' team here or there, that is the question that I would turn around. You say you confronted him on this, and God love him, he's a husband, he's a father, but if his daughters were affected, like a spot on a team was taken from them, and it affected him directly, I believe he'd be singing a much different tune.
Well, I mean, in Jefferson County, the Trump administration just found over 60 boys playing in girls' sports.
Right.
So it is happening. We have boys sleeping in girls' quarters and going into their safe spaces. I have one at the Capitol using the female bathroom. So don't tell me it's not happening.
Finally, Representative Bradley, in this fight to get mandatory sentencing for child rapists. I mean, I just hear this, I go, who can be against this? But what will be the fate of this, whether it's in the Senate or what you're working on in the House? What is the endgame strategy here, and how do you see this turning out?
I'm hopeful, and I'm praying that it goes on the ballot and we put these criminals in jail for life. There's not even a mandatory minimum of 2 to 6 years. They sit in prison for life and think about their consequences. They have sentenced these children to life prisons for raping them, and I hope that they get exactly what's coming to them.
Representative Brandy Bradley, one of the conservative fighters in the General Assembly. Again, it's sheer madness there and chaos a lot of the time. And Brandy, thank you for bringing some sanity to it, and we appreciate the fight that you do.